Yes, everyone, welcome to United Review. I am all on my lonesome tonight because Abdullah is causing absolute chaos in the away end at Stamford Bridge. But what a performance it was from Manchester United away at Stamford Bridge, a place where we never win, a place that we always go and we always struggle. And tonight, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again proved to me why he should be given the full-time manager's job at Manchester United. He's now won more games this season than Jose Mourinho did in 13 attempts from Jose Mourinho's 24. This isn't no Roberto Di Matteo bit of luck in a couple of cups sort of thing. This is him going out there and proving it. We wanted to see United bounce back from the defeat at PSG midweek. We saw it. Now it's focus on Liverpool this weekend. If we get another bang-up result there, how can anybody even think about denying giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job? Now, at the start of the game, we saw the starting 11 come out and I was gutted. I'm not going to lie to you. If you go back, check my Twitter, see what I was saying. I was like, this can't be it. This is not what I want to see. I don't want to see Juan Mata on that right wing. I don't want to see Juan Mata in the same sort of positions that we saw him against PSG because it doesn't work. I wanted to see him at the tip of a diamond. That was something that we spoke about previously. It was something that I even mentioned it on Twitter before the game started. And that is what we saw. We saw a two-striker system, Juan Mata in the hole, a midfield three. And it worked. And it worked fantastically well. Juan Mata didn't create any chances from there, majorly. The two major chances that we did get came from crosses, and what two brilliant crosses they were. Two midfielders getting on the end of them, which just shows up how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has freed up those players. Fantastic performance from Herrera, really making a stake to be Manchester United's captain for me. Paul Pogba, fantastic again. Graham Souness's wife is going to have to go hide, I think, tonight. But apart from that, it was a solid team performance, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really, for me, showing what Sir Alex Ferguson really embodied with Manchester United teams. The sort of performance where you expect United, we go away from home, we get ourselves a couple of goals through some sheer quality, and then we sit back and we let you do your thing. We conceded a ton of possession to Chelsea, but every time when we could break, and we saw Marcus Rashford looking absolutely deadly on the counter-attack. There's so many opportunities that he had where he could have made it happen, and you know what? He was so close to doing that. Phenomenal performance from everyone involved there with United, and we are in the hat with the next round, and it's Wolves who will be our opposition. So I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see how that's all going to go down, and we're going to get stuck into some of the data in a second, so make sure to have your questions in. Please give the video a like if you are loving it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Please give the video a like just to help it get found by everyone. But if you're new around here as well, please subscribe, because we're doing this after every single United game this season, and we're going to continue to do it, and we're going to deliver some more stuff for you guys as well. So let's have a look at the average passes and average touches for United then against Chelsea, because I thought this was a very good tactical performance from United. As you can see there on that left-hand side, if we have a quick look there, you're looking at basically a midfield two of Herrera and Matic. I thought they was great together. Pogba, definitely on the left-hand side, dragged over there because I think he was doing a lot of defensive work. Juan Mata, right slap bang in the middle where I wanted him to be. You'll see Rashford over on the right, Lukaku a little bit central, probably a little bit close to Mata if we're being a bit critical, but a very nice shape to United's play there, and that's what I expected to see. Herrera shuttling over to the right-hand side, Pogba shuttling over to the left-hand side, freeing up Juan Mata from doing the defensive duties and allowing him to sort of feed what was going on down the middle there. I thought, like I said, the forward lineup was fantastic, and the average passes is really interesting. A bit of a triangle of passes going there from Young to Herrera into Juan Mata. Obviously Juan Mata and Herrera always link up very well. Matic into Pogba, and then you see Lindelof into Luke Shaw as well. Now, the only disappointing thing from this really is that it wasn't enough passes going in towards Marcus and in towards Lukaku, but this was a counter-attacking performance from United, so I'm not really going to get too heated up on that one. We've got some quotes coming through here as well. Let's have a look at what some of the players said a little bit as well. So there's Herrera. I played today a more offensive role because, gone. It's a massive result. We had criticism after the PSG game, and everyone did what we asked them tonight. Love that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Pogba there. We are Man United. We play to win trophies. He took this job because he can do it. He trusts us and we trust him. Can love that and all. Chelsea are a good team. They have their way of playing, but Juan Mata did a fantastic job on Jorginho, and we were absolutely perfect defensively. We kept a clean sheet. That we did with the second best backup goalkeeper, also the best backup number 2 in the world. I'd say get your questions in. Make sure you like it. There you go. Played a more offensive role today because we knew they struggle on that side of the pitch. When you forget it, we're not reading it. I wouldn't say he played that much of an offensive role, actually, to be completely honest with you, because he actually put the most challenges in a United shirt today, all on Eden Hazard. 6 challenges that he managed to complete there through on Eden Hazard. So well done to Herrera there. The 3 talking points that we have got today is and Herrera. For me, the hands down man of the match. I think he was the official man of the match, but for me, he was hands down the man of the match. Paul Pogba with an assist and with a goal. And to be fair, Marcus Rashford's involvement for that was pretty good as well. And the final one that we're going to be talking about is Juan Mata in the hole. And we're going to have Young Watch as well. So if you want to see Young Watch, I want to see some likes. I want to see 500 likes and I'll do Young Watch. And we'll absolutely tear into the prick. So it's up to you guys. 500 likes, we'll do Young Watch and we'll show you just how good United's captain is. So here we go, Paul Pogba's actions against Chelsea. Let's have a quick look then. As you can see, quite all over the pitch there. There's a lot of stuff in our own box, actions in the own box, owned that left-hand side of the pitch. A couple of times the actions didn't come off, right round about the middle, but a very effective performance. A lot of the time in there in the first half, you're seeing him getting involved in the build-up play, putting balls in, putting crosses in, making things happen in the final third. Very different performance from him in the second half, where he wasn't as involved, and United did play that counter-attacking cat-and-mouse game, but I thought we played it fantastically well. So I was very happy with Pogba's performance from that. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Goal, assist, away from home, FA Cup 5th round, away at a top 6 opponent. Is that the sort of Paul Pogba that everybody was hoping and expecting? And what do you think it is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is really bringing out in him to do that sort of stuff? Make sure to get liking it. We've got Dimitri Alexander's dropping in a super chat there. Cheers for that, mate. And he says, looks a little bit like 4-2-2. What if he's mint? Does look a little bit like that, but it's definitely the 4-4-2 diamond. You're just seeing there. We'll go back to that and have a quick look at it. As you can see there, there's a 4-4-2 element. You can see right the way through it, and just off the top there is the 2 with Rashford, Lukaku and Mata just in behind. It's just a little bit twisted that way, I guess. Otherwise, yeah, that's exactly what you kind of want to be seeing from a counter-attacking sort of setup from there. Keep getting your questions in. I've just lost my questions, but there they are. Let me get them back up. And I'll be coming over to you guys on Patreon very soon as well, so make sure to get all your questions in. Teo says, Mata in the middle was brilliant. Oh my God, they just went rapid. I can't even read them, they're going that fast. Apologies. I'll come to them in a minute because they've just gone absolutely mental. Imagine this game if we replace Mata with Dybala. Whoa, now you're talking. I can't actually read them, they're going that fast. Let's have a look at Ander Herrera's involvement today, because for me it was not just about what he did in terms of actions, but it was his challenges that he was putting in as well. So all over the pitch there, you can see quite heavily involved. Down here on the left-hand side, lower down in the pitch, that was where he was getting stuck into Eden Hazard, stopping Chelsea's main threat. Very important job, and a couple of challenges in there as well. He was also brilliant in the press, and I think that's a massive underrated part of what he does. So Ander Herrera for me there, man of the match. Anyone disagree with that? Anyone think that somebody else was man of the match? Let me know in the comments and I'll come to them in a second. Oh, Tucker says, what would Mkhitaryan do in Ollie's United? Apart from the fact that he didn't really fit that system, and he didn't fit the squad personality, which is mega important. He could be pretty decent in this one, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. Massive. Let's have a look at Juan Mata then, because I thought Juan Mata in the hole, where we've been absolutely crying out for him. I'm sick of hearing myself say it, talking about him on the right wing where it doesn't fit him. Very similar sort of passing pattern to what we saw with Pogba. First half, very intricate amount of passes, getting involved, both halves, moving the ball around, getting it into the final third, getting it into the channels in the final third, actions everywhere all over the pitch. Brilliant to see. Not showing up as a defensive weakness, which he can be when he's played out wide. Second half, a lot more reserved, a lot more less involvement, and not really getting on the ball too much. Have we got the likes yet? We are 100 likes off it. It's 1,500 of you watching. Smash that like button and we'll do Young Watch, and we can absolutely tear into what he was all about. Lewis Irons in the comments just commented, Rashford, exclamation mark. Ander Herrera was immense, man of the match from me, says Stylish. Didn't think Mata was that good, says Tom. That's very interesting. I thought Mata was very good in the role that he was playing there. By having Mata in the middle, instead of someone like Jesse, because obviously he's injured, but what you get from Mata in the middle is because he sits right there in the middle, and he's someone that you can pass the ball to, and he doesn't hold it up like a traditional centre-forward holds it up, but because his touch is so good, the ball comes into him and gets distributed out from him very, very effectively because his touch is so good, and his footballing brain is so good that he knows the right pass. His decision-making is absolutely fantastic. With Jesse, you get a bit more energy, you certainly get a bit more press from him, but having Juan Mata just right there in the middle of that allows both the centre-forwards to split. You saw Marcus working both sides, really. You saw Lukaku kind of working both sides, and it made it difficult for Chelsea to pick up someone because there was an extra body in there. When we've played Lukaku up front, so many times he's been isolated and it's easy to mark him out of a game. That's why I like when we play two up front, and I love it even more when we play someone in the 10 like this. Are we at the 500 likes yet? I think we are. Let's have a look at what Ashley Young did today. So here we go. This is Ashley Young. His stats this season so far: crosses 148, his cross accuracy 18%. We've only had 3 clean sheets. He's got 2 assists. Now, as we've already said, if you multiply Young's amount of crosses by the times that Mendy has slung it in for City, he would have had 16 assists. That's the difference there. But his game today against Chelsea in the FA Cup. This is Young Watch. 0 crosses, 0 cross accuracy, 69% pass accuracy, which was the worst in the United team, 44% challenges won, and 12 lost balls. There you go. That is Young Watch for this week. Every week, if you guys want it, we will be giving you what Young has done, or not done in this case. Could we even convert Herrera to right back? What? No, absolutely not. Let's stop converting wingers to fullbacks. Let's just buy fucking fullbacks. How's that for an idea? Ollie's accommodating players like Mata and playing a system that suits them. It's a good shout. Could this same team do the same against Liverpool this weekend? I actually think this team could do very similar things against Liverpool this weekend. Andrew says, Steve, do you think playing Sanchez in the false 9 and tip of the diamond role could get him playing better, considering he has the creative quality and press? Yes, I thought so last week when we brought Jesse Lingard off against PSG. I was like, Sanchez makes perfect sense to go and play this role, but in practice, he was fucking garbage. I don't know what the problem is with him at the moment. Everything sort of makes sense, but it just doesn't come off. Like the positions he takes up make sense. What he's doing kind of makes sense. Just nothing works that happens with him. It's a really weird one. Don't know. Right, I'm going to come over to Patreon. Get your questions in on Twitter as well with the hashtag United Review. We're going to be coming to those in a couple of minutes. Let's head over to the guys over on the Discord chat and see what everybody's saying. If you want to know more about Patreon, then we've basically given people jobs, essentially, working on my YouTube channel on the back of having Patreon, and the fact that we've even got a studio, and the levelling up of all the graphics and the camera equipment and everything is possible because of the absolute lads on Patreon. So if you want to support the channel, it's less than £1 a week to do so, and you get loads of extra content and match day chats with other Reds and all that kind of shit. So there you go. Clayton says, how'd my bet go? Which bet was that? Was that the one where I said lump everything on Ashley Young getting booked? I didn't put it on. Should have put it on. Rana Bay says, this is really a match which Jose Mourinho would be proud of. Clinical half with strong defensive display. Jose wouldn't have allowed 2 midfielders to score the goals. I think that is pretty key to that. Oh, I was going to talk about Rashford, wasn't I? So, Mark, go and watch the first goal again. Marcus Rashford moves Alonso out of the way by his diagonal run across him. He could have stayed still, but his off-the-ball movement is that fucking good at the moment. He runs across Alonso. Alonso tracks him, and then you can see Alonso go, oh shit, under Herrera. Herrera arrives at the back post, basically unmarked, because Marcus Rashford moved Alonso out of the way. And I don't think anyone's going to pick that up. So I just wanted to pick that up and say, Marcus, that was sick. Hand in both goals. Congratulations. And it was actually nice to hear the commentators coming out and giving him stuff as well. Herrera was the only one who dictated the game today, literally telling everyone at the back when to breathe slowly. This is exactly what you meant by Inter 2.0. Clinical attack and a proper low block which could defend a goal for 5 hours if needed. This is how we played in Stockholm. How good does it feel? I still don't think the centre-halves are quite there just yet, and there's also other differences in the squad, but yeah, essentially. Ant says, great win, Ollie 2020, and for captain. What do you think the score would have been if either Greenwood or Chong started instead of Lukaku? I was a little bit disappointed that Chong wasn't even on the bench today. I was a little bit, because I thought coming off the bench he would have been brilliant as an option. and we just didn't give ourselves that option. Jay says, how good was Herrera today? It was mint, honestly. And like I tweeted in the middle of the game, can't believe that we used to go with Fellaini over under Herrera on a regular basis. What's all that about? Ahmed says, in all seriousness, I really like 2 up front. Do you reckon we should continue with this? Yeah, because defenders have been used to playing 1 up front at the moment for so long. For so long that they've been used to dealing with 1. That now you put 2 against them, they're going to start dropping midfielders out of everywhere. And if you drop a midfielder out, you've just given Paul Pogba the licence to just get straight into the mix. So I would love to see more of 2 up front, and especially with the players that we've got. I think it really suits us. Nebby says, how good was Smalling tonight next to Lindelof? Could that be our centre-back partnership? No. But, yes, he was good tonight against Higuain, because Higuain is a physical centre-forward and he does well against him. He's still an absolute nightmare. When VAR comes in full-time, you saw with some of the replays of some of the shit that he does off the ball, he's going to get crucified when VAR comes in. Let's upgrade him now before VAR comes in and fucking get rid of him. Thames, same formation against Liverpool, or do you think we'll be left a bit too vulnerable on the flanks with Liverpool's attack? No, I think it would work. As long as you've got Rashford on the left, that's going to cover with Pogba for sure. And then you're not really going to get it out of Lukaku on the right-hand side, but you'd hope that he's going to do a little bit more of that. And then under Herrera shuttling across with probably, let's be honest, Ashley Young to try and track on our right-hand side. Yeah, I think you've got to go with the same sort of thing. Liverpool played the same kind of line that you've seen from Chelsea today, certainly that same line that they played in the second half, which means that if you've got somebody like Rashford that you can find and get the ball to around the halfway line, so many times he was lethal today, and he was very unlucky with one of his runs when he tried to lay off to Lukaku. If that had come off, absolutely banging. We're going to come to Twitter in a second, so get your questions over on #UnitedReview on Twitter. We'll come into them in a little minute. What does Fred have to do to get a game? I actually think if he was going to go a bit more defensive, and maybe Liverpool's the time to do that, Fred could play that in the whole role. Not in the same sort of quality that you get on the ball from someone like Mata, but in the terms of that aggression and running that you would get from Jesse Lingard. If you want to replace that, I think Fred could do that, but I'm sure that that's something they're working on in training. Best performance under Ole, without Jesse, Tony and De Gea. I was actually thinking that. I was thinking, is that better than the Cardiff performance? The Cardiff was much more of a blow-away, wasn't it? But I think with everything taken into consideration, it was a pretty good performance. Class performance, just needed a couple of players to bring us up to the next level. Smalling was class tonight. Every player played well. Even Young wasn't as shit as he usually is. If we draw City, the draw is fixed. Well, we did draw Wolves, so it's happy days. Too busy smiling to ask a question, says Stu. Donald said, what's the point of continuing to bring Chong if we aren't going to at least put him on the bench? I know, that was a big disappointment for me, that. It really was. Hugo says, too erect to ask a question. Hope we get City next round. Nice to see Ole give Pereira a second chance. Can you clear up? Yeah, I'll come to that in a bit, mate. Lukaku barely being in the box when Pogba scored. The second says a lot about him. Do you think it's a confidence issue? Probably it's still a little bit of a confidence issue, to be honest with you. With Pogba, with Lukaku, I think he looks like he's getting match sharp. But I definitely think he needs to come a little bit more confidence. And I think goals is probably going to be what changes that for him. Keep liking the video if you're enjoying the content. We are coming to the Twitter questions in just a second. What do you think of Lukaku's performance? Thought he did well. And who was my man of the match? I'd give it to Ander. I agree. I'm going to give it to Ander. Sean says, thoughts Smalling and Lindelof was superb. What did I make of them as a pairing? Yeah, well, we kept a clean sheet and there wasn't many times that he was rattled. We kept a lot of Chelsea shots to outside the box, which I'm there for all day, because you don't generally, unless it's an absolute worldie, you don't really score from outside the box. Tino says, when Ole took over, you said that he's told the players he wants us to be the fastest and most aggressive team in Europe. For me, he's well on the way to getting out with the current squad. How can Ev not give him the job permanently? Yeah, and we're still missing players. I hope, though, my worry, if Solskjaer gets it, is he strong enough to go and demand things from the board? That's my only worry with Solskjaer. Is he potentially a bit of a yes man? I hope not, but that is my worry. Is he like a lot of the contracts that we've been given doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Does he know that he's not going to be given funds in the summer if he gets the job full time? That's my only worry. Jack, it was clear that Mata was better at the tip of the diamond. Can I see him playing there more often? I hope so. What do you think of Mata at the top of the diamond? Is that the same question? Is that the role you think Angel should be in? Also, will I have another son? Will I name him Ander? I was trying to name this baby Gunnar well before Solskjaer was even in the picture for United. But it was a girl, so it wasn't going to happen. As for Angel being in the diamond, maybe, actually, yeah. I don't really think of Angel as a 10 so much, but the way we played Mata tonight, it wasn't that traditional back to goal sort of number 10, was it? It was almost like an advanced 8, if that makes a lot of sense, like an advanced playmaker, and that for me is where you get the best out of Angel Gomez. Tino says, also, why are players like Young, Jones, etc. getting contracts but not the likes of Ander and Big Dave? Well, I think those players like Jones and Young probably really, really, really want to stay because they probably deep down know they're not good enough to, whereas Ander could probably go to some decent clubs in Europe and Dave's the best goalkeeper in the world and go wherever he wants. So I think they want assurances that the squad's going to be able to compete for stuff, and the likes of Jones and Young are just happy to be here, really. Ruben says, do you think of not taking Matic after his quick 2 fouls? Not taking Matic off, I think that's meant to say. Shows the lack of midfield depth. Yeah, to a certain extent. I didn't think the first one was a foul at all. I thought he won the ball perfect. But the second one coming so fast after that, you're like, he's gone here, isn't he? He's absolutely gone. Let's have a look at what we're saying on Twitter. So use the hashtag United Review. Let's see what this one says. It's from Hen. It says, Rashford, what a fucking beast. Best game defensively under Ole. Only Matic playing subpar today, in my opinion. Young, Smalling, Shaw, Mata all had their best game since Mourinho. I don't know about all of them having their best game since Mourinho, but defensively we dealt with Chelsea very well, I thought. Yeah, very well. Connor, after seeing how we played, can we expect to see something similar against Liverpool, or will we alter it against them? Yeah, I think very, very similar, if not identical to what we've just done tonight. Red Devil says, playing with 2 strikers was quite good. Do you think we should use this formation for City and Liverpool? Yes, but I would still be happier with Jesse in instead of Mata. Take Wolves, City getting the easiest run to a final ever. It's almost like their owners are billionaires, isn't it? Paul Holden on Twitter, let's see what you're saying. Why is Sanchez so pants? Hashtag United Review. I don't know what's going on with him, mate. I really don't know what's going on with him. I was so excited when we signed him. I was like, holy shit, this is a legit signing for us. And even though we've had a manager that wasn't the most attacking minded, and you can go, okay, it didn't work out under Jose. Now you're seeing everybody just absolutely slinging goals in left, right and centre. But it's not happening for him. It's still not happening for him. I don't know. I don't know if is he done? I think he might be done. Maybe it's time to try and cash in on him and use that squad money for somebody else. Barring Rashford breaking off corners, we rarely got through the middle of Chelsea. I feel like we're going to need more crosses to beat Liverpool. So where do we get at them? I don't know if it's necessarily crosses against Liverpool. I think they're probably, like Rudiger and Alonso are much better defensively than I think you get from either of the fullbacks at Liverpool. Yeah, I'd stand by that actually. Yeah, I think that defensively they're a lot better than Liverpool, and I think positionally they're a lot better as well. So I think you just find gaps in the middle, and when everyone's allowed to pour forward, like we saw with. If Rashford and Lukaku are taking away the defenders and you've got midfielders arriving late into the box because they're allowed to get up into those positions, then I think that's absolutely banging. And I think that's how you beat them. I think you get into the channels, you cut it back across the byline. Crosses is a little overrated. Although, yeah, it boils my piss when Ashley Young throws in 22 of them and none of them land. But crossing's a little bit overrated. The best teams at the moment are cutting into the byline just inside the box a little bit and then just laying it off for someone who's running onto it. That's the easiest ball and that's the easiest chance that you're going to get to score. Game wasn't satisfied in us. Did we play well? First half, fantastic. Second half, we hit them on the break and did what we had to do. MB says, I thought Mata was excellent through the middle and I like that we're comfortable adapting tactically. Credit where it's due, Smalling was fantastic tonight. Do we stick with him for Liverpool or put Bay back in? I would go with Bay back in, and the reason I would go with Bay back in is because they've not got the same physical threat that Smalling likes to go up against. You've got someone who's a little bit more tricky, probably a little quicker, and I think Bay probably suits that a little better. Matthew says, finally, Ashley Young has been told he's a shit crosser and he's playing the ball on the ground. Standard crossing today was so much better and the quantity of crosses was not as colossal as usual. Do you think that's the stage one of Mourinho hangover over? Still a long way to go, but the lack of crossing from players who can't cross was really telling. I would have to go back and actually look how many times he was in a position to cross. I don't think he actually overlapped, did he? I don't remember him overlapping too much. Matthew Jarvis says, does Herrera have to be club captain next season once Ollie has the job confirmed? Yes. Alexis was bright when he came on. Surely he's ahead of Rom, especially when we play this or a similar system. I'd still go with Rom. At the moment, I think he's a lot quicker across the ground. But I think once Tony Marshall's fit, Marshall and Rashford in a true striker system's fucking naughty. Another one off Twitter there, we've got Swapnil. And what's he saying? Do you sometimes feel like Ollie waits a bit too long before introducing substitutes into the game? Yeah, I think that's probably a valid criticism. Yeah, there's times where you think that you can see the changes happening, but there's also stuff that's very obviously timed. Like we saw when Angel got his game and all that. Like there was other players lined up and then things happened and he switched it. Next one there on Twitter. It says, Herrera definitely every aspect of the game tonight. I love Pogba, but you don't have to always give man of the match to the player that scores and assists, although he was also excellent. I think he's talking about man of the match for Herrera there, yeah? Yeah, he was my man of the match. ZT says, what a classy performance. Defo think Herrera is a shout for captain. What do I think of Sanchez, says Jack. Thought he worked hard and showed a lot of promise. He's still not right there, to be honest. He's still not the guy that was scoring 30-odd goals for Arsenal, is he? We've got another super chat there from Zach. He says, would love to see Tahith. Any idea why we didn't? Nah, mate. I honestly, when he travelled, I thought, I didn't expect him to start. And I don't think it would have been right to start him either. But the whole idea of taking him is to give the option and to know what you're getting. And I think he would have been a brilliant option, especially the way the game went down. Him just sprinting off into the corner with the ball would have been absolutely banging, I think. How much money needs to be spent on the squad for us to challenge? I don't think it's about money. It's about the sensible signings. You could pick up a cracking signing. What's Matt Doherty going to cost you as a right back? You might get him for 20 mil, 25 mil, tops. Like, you could probably go to that Wolves side, pick up Neves, pick up Adama Traore, pick up... Like, that's the joke, is that we could go and make our team a title-winning side on the back of picking up some players from fucking Wolves. Like... Matt Doherty is better than Young. Ruben Neves comes into that midfield probably as a rotation option, depending on the type of game they're playing. And Adama Traore as an option off the bench? Yeah, please. Let's stop pissing about with Young and Valencia and just give out under the armband. Put that petition in front of me. I'm signing a thing. Is Romero better than most expensive keeper in the world at Chelsea? I think he is. Oh, that's a good shout, Barbie. Loki, does Anders post-match interview praising the subs who come on and show how much a leader he is? Everything that comes out of his mouth is mint. This game offers so much reassurance, says Lewis, for the Scousers next week. Was unsure how we'd cope with no Tony and Jesse. Me too, mate. And I'm really glad with the way and how we responded. Also, outclassed with the away fans, 10 times more than Chelsea. More Chelsea fans than you couldn't hear a peep. And Connor, after the PSG and Chelsea result, what do you think will be our biggest test in March? Manchester City. I think that we're too far gone to come back for PSG, and I don't know how you as a management team would approach that game thinking it's too far gone. Do you go there and think that you can hit them nice and early, get a couple of goals to the good? That's a fucking monumental ask, especially with no Pogba. What, you're going to bring me in fucking mayonnaise and just expect him to go and wand it around like Pogba did? I think if you're being totally realistic, you go, do you know what? Not fuck it off, but fuck it off and concentrate on the league games, because there's some games that you could really make a dent in people there and really shock people. Listen, thank you guys for joining us. This has been fun tonight. Really enjoyed that Chelsea game. If you're interested in the Patreon group, hit the link in the description. Come and check it out and see what it's all about. Thank you guys for watching. There might be some more videos coming out this week before the Liverpool game. You'll have to subscribe and find out. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.